This is a review of Bring the Horizon's new record, that's The Spirit, that was released on 9/11/2015. And I wanted to say, before I start anything, I do not have a physical copy of it, unfortunately. I don't live near any record stores, and I didn't order it offline or anything, but I did buy it off iTunes. So I did support the band, I didn't just illegally download it or anything. I wanted to say that I went in neutral listening to this album. I didn't hate it, I didn't like it. I heard the singles and I was like, God, they sold out, this sucks. You know, because I like the Bring Me the Horizon that's, you know, rough around the edges, where all these, you know, screaming at people, screaming his lyrics, you know, that kind of thing, just the traditional Bring Me the Horizon that they have been for, like, almost the past 10 years. And so when I heard this album was coming out, I listened to the singles, and it was truly upsetting at first, but then I started to get used to what Bring Me the Horizon has become. Let me just a second. The album in total is really different from anything they've done before, but it's still Bring Me the Horizon. It's not, you can tell it's not for the money. Some of it may be, like, because they did say that they wanted more fans and that they wanted a bigger audience, but for the most part, you can hear in the lyrics, you can hear in the feel of it, that, you know, it's not all for money, maybe for some, but for now it's not. I guess I will go from song to song, everything I liked and disliked about it, and then I will do an overall album review. Let's start with number 1, Doomed. The noises at the beginning, I listened to this song, or this album, all the way through twice, and the first time I did not understand it at all. I was like, this is retarded, this is stupid, I don't know why they have this. Now I realize it's kind of like an intro or a preface, if you want to consider it that. But I feel like it's needed just to really set up, you know, what the album's going to be like. The choruses were very, very strong. Most of the songs had very, very strong choruses, so that's something that's always good, because choruses really signify which song it is. It was very flat and boring for the most part, but I wouldn't really, I mean, it was flat and boring because there was no difference, or there was no change up in the song really. It was just keyboards and Ollie pretty much throughout the whole song. But I would have to say that I wouldn't choose any other song to be the first track on the album, because many times I wanted to change around the track so it would make more sense, because the album doesn't really make sense the order that it's in. But yeah, I would always choose this to be the first track. Happy Song. Hate the song title. I know it's, you know, stupid to nitpick every little thing, but it's something I had to mention. Any song with the word song in it's just dumb to me. The cheerleaders are way overdone, where, you know, SPIRIT, Spirit, let's hear it. You know, Falling in Reverse has done it with Bad Girls Club back in 2015. It's been done God knows how many times besides that, so it's just overdone to me. But on the other hand, the rises and falls from verse to chorus are spot on, phenomenal, were great. For the single, I thought this was one of the best singles. Not the best, but one of the best from the album. The message was very cliche, I felt, of Happy Song, but, you know, they put it in a way where it was still refreshing. It still felt like, you know, like you could connect to it. That's one thing Bring Me the Horizon have always done. They've always been able to connect to their fans with their lyrics. And this is one of the more rock-oriented songs that I appreciated, because there weren't very many on this album. Number 3, Throne. Don't like the vocals. I don't like Ollie Sykes singing like that. I know you know, I have no right to say, you know, I want you to sing like this. You have to sing like this, but still, I mean, you could try it out. He kind of did it on oh God, on Drown. That's what it's called. I'm sorry. He kind of did it on Drown, the old version, but you know, it's whatever. I just don't like the vocals. It sounds way too much like There's a Hell. Believe me, I've seen it. The whole album, anyway, the keyboards and everything, it sounds like that. And it repeats lyrics, and it sounds exactly like, to me, Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake. I did not need any time to, you know, sit and think, like, what song does that sound like? I knew it immediately, right off the bat. There's a Hell. And Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake. And then, it repeated the lyrics, like I said, and, it did, however, have a strong message. Like I said, I'm sorry if I mentioned that too often, but that's one of the highlights that I appreciate about Bring the Horizon so much, is that they have a very, very good lyric base. True Friends, I thought this was the best single that they released. I wouldn't say Avalanche is a single, it's just another song they released. But anyway, True Friends is the best single they have on this album. It had great verses, the drums were perfect, spot on. Awesome vocals. He went back to his yelling. It's very, very more rock oriented. It had a great anthem, which, let me explain. When he says true friends stab you in the front, I can imagine just like everyone live just yelling back at him, true friends stab you in the front. I could see it on shirts, you know. It's just one of those mottos that, you know, as the band progresses, they have these lyrics throughout their albums that, you know, you can just put on shirts or whatever and it sells. So, good job for them. And the, well, I'll mention it anyway, the lyrics were good again. Follow You. Sounds, the beat to it sounded too much like a club song to me, like a dance song, and I was like, veer away from that. It had good verses. It was a very relaxing song. Good harmonies, great lyrics. Overall, it's kind of flat. I listened to this album twice, so the review of each song is like some from the first listen and some from the second listen. Second listen was much better than the first listen. What You Need, one of the best songs, if not the best. I think it's tied with Run and Oh No. Those are my three top songs. But anyway, What You Need, awesome intro with the guitar, bass, and drums. Blew my mind for this album. It had a great starting beat. Ollie started yelling again. Put a smiley face on my notes. Great drum work with awesome choruses. The drums were phenomenal through the entire album. The drums did not let up once. Great work from Lee Malia with, I guess there's a little guitar solo in there or something, a little bit of one. But anyway, I actually quoted some lyrics. They may not be like quote for quote, but this is pretty much what I wrote down. I wrote, slit my wrist and play in my own blood, kill myself just for the fucking fun. Why didn't he do this throughout the rest of the album? That's what I've been waiting for, is like, you know, some ballsy, you know, raw lyrics like that. Like he does stuff like that, like on Hospital for Souls and that kind of shit. You know, that's the shit that we want. Or at least I want. But, you know, I'm sure other people want it but me. So I thought that was pretty much the best song all the way through. Next is Avalanche. Great song. It's another song they released before the album actually dropped. It once again the beginning sounds like There's a Hell. Great lyrics. More guitar. Great chorus. And then I quoted more lyrics. It says, I need a cure for me because the square doesn't fit the circle. Man, I remember the first time I heard that, because it's like, it's not like a verse or it's not like a chorus, you know, it's just like, you know, verse, chorus, and they do this, you know, I Need a Cure for Me, because a square doesn't fit the circle, and it's different from the rest of the song, and I'm like, wow, that really stood out to me. I don't know why, but it did stand out to me. And actually, there was just enough keyboard in this song to really make me happy. I think this song is very well balanced. It wasn't too quiet. It wasn't too, it was spot on. It was good. Run, I did not like the intro. However, it did have good harmonies. It was, the chorus. This is hands down the best chorus on the album. Run. It's very creepy, just like, and eerie, just like, Can You Feel My Heart? How the keyboards made it kind of a creepy song, even for a single. I mean, it's crazy that they would put that song as a single, but still, I felt Run and Can You Feel My Heart were very closely, connected due to their level of eeriness, but, I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. I thought, it had a great sound to it overall. I loved Run. I loved it the second time more than I liked it the first time. I wrote here it was kind of boring, but second time I heard it, I was like, whoa, I really, really like this. Drown. The original dropped about a year ago. Not quite, maybe 10 or 11 months ago. I didn't think this new one was that different from the original. It's too old of a song, really. I was just like, we can't really, I mean, if you change it up a little bit, we still can't really be too, really that much enthused by it, because we've heard it a million times before. But I think we needed the release a year early before Bring the Horizon started, recording, or maybe even before they started writing. Just so we could see what direction Bring the Horizon was going in. But, it's more rock-based. I definitely noticed that, especially towards the end. It had great lyrics, great message. I remember I used to listen to that song over and over and over and over again. And I just thought it was fantastic. And they toned down the keyboard on this version, and I was like, you did something right. Oh my god, yes. Made me happy. It's kind of hard to pick out, but if you listen to it, you can tell that it's more, it's got more guitar, more drums, and that kind of shit, and less retarded keyboard. I don't like the keyboard, I'm sorry, I'm biased on that part. Now on Blasphemy. It had great vocals, and listen to this, it had great keyboards. I never say that. I usually hate the keyboards. It was more upbeat. It was a lot more like a rock song from them. Oh my god, when he's like, you got hell to pay, I was like, whoa. No joke, I was like, holy shit. Yes. And, oh my god, don't even get me on the guitar solo. Oh my god, I'm a guitar player. And when Lee fucking played that guitar solo, and I'm like, where the fuck was this the entire album? Like, he had a little bit of guitar solo in, like, I don't know, I don't even remember which song it was. I think it was What You Need, but, like, it was, like, in a half-assed. This was, like, full out, or, like, it was good. I was like, why can't we have more of this? Why did they put more keyboard and not more Lee fucking Malia? Anyway, I thought it was fucking perfect. And then the last song, Oh No. It had great choruses, good lyrics, and it was like, I felt it was like a lot like an 80s-ish like pop dance song vibe to it, and or like even like a modern poppy dance song. It had sad lyrics. Like if you listen to it, it's very depressing, sad lyrics, but it was upbeat, and I don't know, the way they mixed it between, sad and happy, I just felt like they did that very well. The backing vocals were great, and oh my god, they had a jazzy fucking saxophone, like, little solo at the end. I'm like, no one does that shit. No one does that, like, even for 5 seconds on their damn album. They did it for, like, I don't know, 12 to 15 seconds. I was like, that's some different, like, game-changing shit there. And then I was like, perfect fucking way to end the album. No other way would I want the album to end. Alright, so let me move on to the full album synopsis. Alright, so now is going to be the full album review. I felt like the lyrics, like, I don't know if everyone felt this way, but personally I was like, I felt like there was impending doom that I wrote down. Like, throughout the lyrics, some people might just say, you know, it's sad or whatever, but I just felt like Ollie was struggling with something. He didn't flat out say it. I mean, just felt like he was struggling with something throughout the entire album. That's why I think the lyrics are so relatable, because, you know, Bring Me the Horizon fans, you know, struggle with shit in their life, you know. I don't want to lump them together, but like self-harm or whatever it might be, depression, whatever. But, you know, I think that's why we connect so much with Bring Me the Horizon. When it went from Doom to like Happy Song, Throne, and True Friends, it completely threw me off. I'm like, why did it go from a song that was like all sad and shit to like 3 songs that were like the happiest tracks on the record? I'm like, ugh, that was not a smart choice. Maybe it was just the order they wrote them in or something. They didn't give a lot of thought to which order they put them in, and I will say that a lot. The drums are best part of the album. Besides the lyrics and drums, best part of the album. And the more I listen to the album, the more I love it more and more. I can listen to it a 3rd time, I'd love it more, 4th time. You know, every time I listen to it, I love it more than the last time I listened to it. Once again, I feel like Ollie is struggling with something still to this day. Like, even if, you know, he's got a wife now, he's got this new album, he's got fans that love him, and he's not an ass. I think he used to be. Don't quote me on that, but whatever. But I still think he's mentally struggling with something. Like, some people, no matter how happy they get, no matter how things are good, they just always say depressed. And maybe, you know, I have no idea. Maybe that's something he's struggling with. There were very little angry songs, like, or lyrics. There were some angry songs, such as like True Friends, but, you know, the anger on this level was very low. And after Happy Song, Throne, and True Friends, it got quiet and depressing again, which didn't make any sense to me at all. Don't put all your singles like together at the beginning of an album. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I feel like if you listen to the whole album, like, I don't think anyone just sits down and says, I'm going to listen to the full That's the Spirit album right now. I'm not going to stop until I get through the whole thing. So unless you're doing that, all the depressing slow songs don't get lumped together, but if you are going to listen to the whole album through, they kind of get lumped together unless you've listened to them heavily so you know how to differentiate between them. And then out of nowhere, there's like 3 depressing songs or some of them are like half in between, but they still work together. And then they have Drown out of nowhere. Just they've got sad lyrics almost, kind of like supporting lyrics with sad lyrics, but it's still upbeat and it's not like very low and relaxing and slow and all that kind of stuff that the rest of the album is. And it's just out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh my god, that was a horrible mistake. And really, that was the only thing. Oh no, best way to end the album. I think this album has got to be one of my top 5 albums that I've ever listened to. The only thing that doesn't make it, like, oh my god, the thing that fucking ruins it, not the keyboards, not any kind of mass-produced, like, overproduced bullshit. The worst thing, track listing. Oh my god. I would put this actually at like a solid, probably 9.5 maybe. The track listing is so horrible. I would do it like depressing songs at the beginning, like 6 of them or how many there are, and slowly get happier and happier until where you have songs like Happy Song and Throne and all that kind of stuff on the end of the album. I know you can't really put the singles and stuff on the end of the album, but still, it's just a thought, you know. But that's the thing that really ruined it for me, is the track listing was, you know, shit. It was absolute shit. I will not, you know, censor it. I will not be like, well, you know, this was good. No, it was shit. Well, actually, it was good. First track was good. Last track was good. Everything else in between, jumbled mess. They should have organized it so much better. But anyway, lyrics were perfect. Drums were perfect. Very different from anything out today, especially in the underground scene, which they're almost not even underground anymore. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you guys watch this whole bullshit thing, I mean, I don't expect you to, but anyway, I'm going to be doing more reviews. This is my first one ever, so sorry if it was a little long. I need to compress it in later dates, but anyway, I'm going to be doing the Escape the Fate album next. That comes out on October 30th, and then I will be doing probably the Ghost Town album that comes out sometime November, called like Evolution or Revolution or something like that. And then I will do the Asking Alexandria new album, which is to be announced. We still don't know what it's called or anything like that. But thank you if you guys watched. If you enjoyed, cool. You can do whatever you want, comment, like, whatever. Just thank you if you watch this.